So there I was. I mean, I was in Nyack, and I was in my sophomore year, and I wasn't really involved in church ministry so much. I was involved in a lot of different things in the college campus, between prayer groups and between different small groups that I was in charge of leading, different ministry teams that I was a part of. I was working as well outside of college, and I had this question because I saw all my friends being involved and volunteering as youth leaders and different things at churches, and it made sense how their path was directed towards ministry, and how they would get into church ministry. Either they started out as an intern and would be offered a job afterwards, or halfway through. I didn't have an opportunity like that. I really felt God put a desire and really a call in my heart to work where I was working and work with the college students and work with the people that I was working with. And so I was doing that, and it just came to this place. I was like, well, how do I get into church ministry? So I began to pray this over and over again for about 4 years. I was asking God, how do I get into church ministry? I kept wondering this question. College came and went, and I started just working. And I tried a professional career or a professional job, and I was like, well, I'm going to try pursuing seminary. That was my next logical step. I didn't have a church that I was focused on for candidating or any of that kind of thing. So I was like, well, I'll go to school some more. I'll do seminary. I tried approaching it, and it just never seemed to work out. I don't know, financially it wasn't working out. Just application wise it wasn't working out. There were a lot of things that just didn't allow it to work in a lot of ways. And so I would get distracted or frustrated or whatever the case would be. And so as time went on, I was continuing to ask this question, and I just had no idea. I didn't have an answer for how I got in church ministry. So I went to Chattanooga, Tennessee, where my good friend Aaron Roush had come and moved down with a group of people from Connecticut who planted a church in Chattanooga. And it was pretty new. I was there at about the 4-month mark. I came down to visit and had a chance to spend Aaron's birthday with him, and I was approached with an opportunity, one unlike any that I'd ever received, an opportunity to come and be mentored as a pastoral intern at a church where I would be given an opportunity to work with college students. It seemed too good to be true. The part that was pressing was I had this desire to go to seminary, and I had this amazing offer to come and start working in ministry. And meanwhile, I was doing volunteer work and different things at my church back in New York and Risen King, and I received great encouragement and teaching, and just a phenomenal group of people, phenomenally built community of people there that are really pursuing the work of God for the New York and greater New York area. And for the world, really. They're very globally and locally minded, and it was a beautiful thing to be a part of that group. So I had this question where, well, do I leave this and do I go to pursue this ministry opportunity? So I was praying about it, and surfaced this opportunity to go to seminary, where there was a job that was available that it would have paid for almost all of my seminary, and I could have stayed working at the church at the same time. But I also had this offer to go to Chattanooga, and I didn't know what to choose. I was really I was really at odds with myself. I felt like whatever I choose, it's going to be the wrong decision. I just didn't know if I could make a good decision. So at the last day, I went and when I was going to apply for this job, I prayed to God and I said, just make it evident, make it very clear, choose. If you want me to go to seminary, then I'm going to get the job and I'm going to go to seminary. And that's what I'll do. And if you want me to go to Chattanooga, then close the door to seminary and allow me to begin to prepare myself for what's going on. And so I went in the job interview, went really well and everything like that, and I ended up getting an email 2 weeks later or a week later that said, thank you so much for applying or whatever, but we decided to move in and we wish you great fortune in whatever you do. So it was pretty evident at that point. I still had my doubts or whatever, but I had a pretty good idea, and so I just finally, for the first time in my life, I was choosing my allegiance. No longer was I choosing an allegiance to my own personal gain. I was choosing allegiance to God and to really build into His kingdom. And it took a lot for me to get to that place. Just a lot in life circumstances and job circumstances over the last 2 years, how things played out, and really God's just divine hand working on my life really led me to make a decision to follow Him wherever He went and to pick up everything and move to Chattanooga. And that kind of is where the mission was born for me.